Hello, guys, and welcome to 21metrics podcast. I'm here as usual with our quant Juhani. Welcome, Juhani.
Hi again.
And we are about to discuss crypto, AI, macro, and everything, but mainly focusing on crypto tokens, of course, digital assets as usual. But at first, check our partners, Starseed.ai, the easiest way to shift your crypto. Then we have Satoshkin and Vitalo AG as our partner. So check those out. But yeah, on chain. So like Bitcoin has weakened a lot recently. Actually, is it surprising, or what do you think? Like Bitcoin is now around 67k. Did we see this coming, Juhani, or how do you see it? Is it surprising at all, or what do you think about that?
I think it's a little bit volatility, but that's kind of like expected in this part of the on-chain cycle, I think. Because when we are in the increasing part of the early cycle, you normally have really high volatility. Like we had last time. Like I think we discussed this already in January that when we started to see that the on-chain activity was increasing in Bitcoin side, that there normally is some pullback at some point after the first, let's say, recovery from the bottom. So it's kind of like normal part of this part of cycle, I think. So we can expect more volatility as well in upcoming weeks, I think.
Yeah. So like Bitcoin has basically entered this sell in May structure, and it's kind of like having a summer vacation. However, like we are seeing many tokens, infra-based tokens, and Zcash like in inverse correlation with Bitcoin. We can explore them later. So it's not all cryptos, but Bitcoin especially feels weak here. But I don't know. I see maybe Bitcoin going sideways, and if it goes when it goes sideways, then we could see like infra tokens and premium altcoins performing better, I would say. But yeah. But like if you invested in, or if you have been holding Bitcoin since November last year, you're now like minus 50% or something, because there are a lot of Bitcoin maxis were holding Bitcoin, so that's quite a lot.
Yeah, I think everyone was telling everyone to buy when it was like 120 something, and now it's trading around 60 to 66, and it's probably not the healthiest situation to be. And also like all these crypto native equities have traded down like 80%. But I think this is like a good time to start buying actually. Like perhaps Bitcoin, but also like these more convex way of providing crypto native equities. Like MSCR actually is actually a pretty good buy, I think, because it's under pressure. So it's you normally want to buy equities when they are in distressed situations, like now. So it's more like attractive, let's say, expected return in that sense.
So as you have been saying, a distressed asset, and then it's a good place to buy.
Like if you believe that it can make comeback, and if we have a positive view that Bitcoin will do some comeback in later this year, then this is like the time when you want to accumulate those kind of assets that have really convex non-linear payoffs for increasing Bitcoin price. Because it happened like last time as well. Like I remember when we had this on-chain cycle in the early beginning, then if you start buying these crypto native stocks, you may be suffering or draft down on 20-30%. But then in the long run, the returns are quite nice, I would say.
Yeah, agreed. And then I have a next. Okay, this actually a bit spot on-chain factor, but
this actually like we discussed, and basically in the beginning of the year we saw this like increase again that normally happened 6 months before, let's say, the bullish market. So we should expect like by end of the year that we start to see higher price again in Bitcoin side at least.
Yeah. So you're seeing this inflection point here regarding the on-chain factor, but also you said on X that it's kind of like the price might lag behind it. So
yeah, it's like 6 months, 6-8 months. So you basically see like in the chart in 23 that we started to increase in this on-chain factor. Then we actually had major draft downs still thereafter. Like now as well. We have like increase now, and then we have now the pullback. So probably it can be shaky month or two, and then it should improve, right? Like if you if you basically buy now, then you would have probably quite decent expected returns. Because when the asset is cheap, then you should expect higher return, right?
Yeah. So you're saying that the on-chain factor has now pivoted, but still like the spot price could weaken for a while.
Yeah, actually, and that's why you want to continue buying. Like if you are able to buy monthly basis, then you probably are better off than buying at one shot, because at one shot buy you might end up buying some sort of regional peak, right?
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. So this is kind of like an accumulation area, like buy
Yeah, exactly.
basically. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
like yeah. So far it has been in every cycle like that. That there's certainly in the beginning of the cycle, and people don't believe that market can come back, and then you should be actually the buyer.
Mm, yeah. One other chart I wanted to discuss is this that this is like hyperliquid data basically, and it shows that like 50% of hyperliquids like trading volume is like towards stocks and oil and like traditional assets, and this kind of like a paradigm shift happening here. Maybe traders are kind of like realigning here that they are not wanting to trade pure crypto anymore that much, but they want to trade stocks, maybe AI related stocks, tech stocks, these kind of assets, and it's happening on chain. So this is a new like paradigm here. Um,
Yeah, I think there's like expansion in Binance and Bybit already. So
yeah,
in all like the other major exchanges, I think. So that also tells that there's like demand for trading like weekend oil or something like that, because you used to have like these old derivative providers like IT markets or something like that to provide you the, let's say, the derivatives that you can trade over the weekend, but in this crypto space you would be able to do it all the time, right? So there might be in that kind of like hedging demand, but also like probably more interest towards oil at the moment, I think.
yes. So this kind of
But
like
but
on
I guess
chain.
like yeah, actually, but I think we also see it in probably in different types of coins. Like meme coins have lower volumes, but in, let's say, crypto space is more like the infra. I think that you already probably mentioned once. I think.
Yeah, yeah. But this is like so you have kind of like a stock market on chain, which is open 24/7. This is what the like hyperliquid is, and it's a very like groundbreaking. I would say it's a very like new
Mhm.
thing, and hyperliquid is very valuable as crypto infra platform. Yeah, this is what where we are going, I would say. So interesting, and as like crypto has a bit slowed down, especially Bitcoin, then people want to trade something. What they do, they trade these stocks on chain. Then and it shows here currently. So interesting direction we are going to. But let's move into a couple of assets. We are going to discuss Hyperliquid, Near, and Zcash. So we are seeing here. Hyperliquid has had a great year, and they're seeing futures taker uh, volume going up. But the thing is that what I want to discuss is here that it looks like that hype is a bit like overheating. So the question is that okay, we could basically be in kind of like a price discovery cycle here, and I actually believe that hype is making all-time highs all the time, basically like every day here, and it could go well beyond like 100 USD or I don't know 150 200. But of course there could be a correction at some point. But would you see hype being like overheated because there's a lot of like retail involved, or how do you see it, or is it still
Mm,
buy just accumulate hype, or how do you see it?
I I think it's a little bit slowing down compared to the other ones. Like if you look near on those, and it's a little bit start to doesn't have the same momentum like week or two ago, right? When we had the week when we had 30% return. So it's definitely slowing down in that sense, I think, and that's just increases the risk that there would be some correction at some point.
Yeah.
But but if you take like more like fundamental view that there's more demand for this on-chain trading of oil equities or those indices, then we should have higher volumes, and that would justify a higher price.
Yeah, but as they say, market can stay irrational and it could go up by a lot, just like supported by FOMO or something. So yeah, interesting, but it looks a bit overheated right now. So we'll see. Like back in last year, it was overheated in like September, October, and then it declines. So we'll see. Let's move on to next asset, which is near protocol, and so basically we are having a lot of we're seeing a lot of prime pressure there. But what I think about near overall, it's kind of like this AI aligned crypto. How do you see it? Is the buy? It's not like, unlike hyperliquid. It's not doing like price discovery because it has peaked before around 10 USD. I would say, but there's like clear upside ahead. Um,
Mm-hmm.
how do you see it? Like, is it a buy, or would you buy it?
I think it's like part of the infrastructure in AI side. I think at least what I have really limited knowledge of the token itself, but I think it could be like part of, let's say, portfolio where you want to have these infrastructure tokens, because that's also part of the infra category, I would say. So that would make it more bullish. So if we assume that there's higher demand for infra cryptos instead of typical meme coins, then that would support, let's say, buying that some managers could buy it as part of the infra category index, right? Like if they want to replicate index inside crypto that's infra, then this revenue would be part of it, and that would give it a more bullish case to continue to go in a higher price.
Yeah, and when looking at here like this future bubble map, it also looks a bit overheated, like the
Yes,
red there. So
yes.
as well, but I don't know, like, as this it was a CryptoQuant analyst said that Martin, yeah, Martin said that yeah, it's overheated, but it will stay overheated for a long time. So as we
Mhm.
said that, like, markets can stay irrational. So it looks overheated, but it just like be that way
Yeah,
and
it's
go
yeah.
up.
I guess like in Bitcoin, the drops are normally pretty like violent. Also, like the upside is violent quite often in crypto. That you go up 30% in a week, and that could also happen on your side in this protocol as well, like in hype as well. So that's the main major risk. Like if it start to trend down, then probably everyone tries to sell at same time, right?
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
biggest risk, I would say.
agreed. So yeah, both hype and near look a bit overheated, but they could stay that way. Let's
Hmm.
move on to Zcash, which is also interesting. So I would see like at least three interesting assets here, as we discussed, hype near and Zcash or ZEC. We're seeing a lot of like future staker volume here. So this is a retail favorite, but this is interesting because it's not looking overheated yet here. So unlike hype and near, Zcash is not looking overheated. But like, how should we interpret this? What do you think? Like, is it?
I think the fundamentals are still improving, right? At least at last time I checked, it was still like trending upwards in terms of
Yeah,
demand, and because it also has supply is reduced every week so far at least, and that supports also higher price. So that could keep price level higher while
yeah,
going up. I think so. As long as there's actually fundamentally driven demand, then it shouldn't be like the hype that everyone jumped on the same wagon to go up, because it seems to be also more fundamentally driven at the moment.
yeah. It's been marketed as this kind of like new Bitcoin, and it's like there's a lot of arguments, pro and contra. I don't know, like, of course, like it could be useful, but like it has a lot of like backers in the US, a lot of like big investors and like venture capital people who are backing it up. So I was thinking that, or do you have a view on this, that how organic is the Zcash growth, or how organic is any growth in that sense? of course, that's the question. But do you see it as an organic play, or is it like backed by or like pumped by VCs, or how do you see it? Like what is going?
At least like the activity was increasing in on-chain, but also VCs could do it, right? They would just open tons of accounts to buy the stuff, right? That's the biggest risk in crypto always, but at least it seems to be that it's going up with the on-chain, right? Like it's typically like when we observe that on-chain is increasing in activity, it's normally like decent reason for prices to go up. Like we saw last time in Ethereum when we discussed Ethereum, right? That when the on-chain was getting more bullish than you normally had several weeks of bullish market. So that's always a good indication that there is reasonable reason why market is going up for that particular token, I think.
Yeah, so out of these three, Near, Hype, ZEC, like this one doesn't look overheated yet. But like out of these three, I would say maybe if the conditions are favorable, I would say that Near looks the one with maybe most upside ahead because the market cap is so small. Hype is now like actually it's top 10 crypto asset if you look at market cap. So Hype is kind of like already there, and that kind of like raises some questions that, of course, it could be like top 3 or something. It might be, but yeah, like Near is pretty small still. So in that sense, it has like room to grow.
Potentially, right? Yeah. And it also has the more like the infrastructure story, I think. That's also a little bit more supportive, I think, for Near.
Yeah.
Because at least what I see that all the infrastructure tokens as a whole, like universe of these infrastructure tokens are doing quite well compared to, let's say, Bitcoin or meme coins, for instance. So that's also supports the Near case a little bit more, I think. Even though Hype can be seen as part of like trading infrastructure, but it has run so lot like recent weeks, so that probably would have lower upside left, I would say.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, so I personally hold all of them. Hype, Near, Zcash. They're all like they all fit the narrative, I would say, and they all have like inverse correlation with Bitcoin. So they're all interesting. Maybe you'd have some other assets like Ondo we could explore later. You have been talking about.
Yeah, Ondo is kind of like similar to Near, I think. It seems to trade quite often. When Near goes up, you have Ondo as well because it's also infrastructure token as well.
Yeah, agreed.
And that we can definitely check later for sure.
And if you have other like small cap assets that might be interesting, I think.
Yeah, there's always like this computing side as well. We have this data center ICB as well, which we can always look into, right? Because that's also like should be like typical technology asset from the crypto side that might be attractive if there's a lot more demand for data centers.
Yes, we could actually have like a small cap token podcast. Like maybe perhaps the next one could be like
yeah, we could take a look. Like if there's a particular list of assets that we look into, that would be interesting for sure. Yeah. Like infrastructure seems to be where to be at the moment. The other things look a little bit sketchy, I would say.
Yeah, but like hype, while it kind of like seems small cap, but it's already a top 10.
Yeah, and you also see it in all the large exchange websites. Like if you go to Binance or Bybit or Arcade, that's the first asset that they recommend in their website. So you're gonna like have a little bit bubble feelings from that kind of behavior.
So it is kind of like already pumped in a way.
Yeah, in that sense, yes.
That's
like,
right.
Because like if there's like competition by Hype now and get like someone gets prices for that, then that's kind of like indication that probably it's a little bit risky in those situations.
Yeah, we should chart these like new small caps. Let's have a podcast on that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, great insights. I think we have now spoken for 20 minutes. We can wrap this up. Thanks everyone for watching, and we can discuss small cap assets next time. Thanks Juhani for joining. Enjoy your week. Enjoy crypto. Hopefully you're making profit.
Yeah, we do so. Yeah, thanks a lot.
See you
Bye.
next time. Thanks. Bye.